started with this idea called Ring a Book in way back in 2010. How it all started was I was trying to figure out a way to buy books while I was sitting in my class during my MBA days. And then I found it very difficult to go ahead and procure it from the market because of several reasons. So I thought maybe we could have a platform where people could easily buy books. Not only that, also at that point of time where penetration of internet was not that high. So what we had available was the mobile phones and the on call everything could be arranged. So hence Ring a Book came into picture. I wanted to create a service where people could order for books either through a call or through SMS. I'm talking about 2010. So I thought maybe why not utilize this? People could just SMS for free. And then there was a reward. So there were keywords like Chetan Bhagat. So we sent out the details of that author, or you send out the name of the book. They send out a detail and then ask you for a confirmation if you want to place the order. So we had their address details saved. So on the very first time they had to set up their account, telling us their address, phone number, and things like that. And every time someone messages or calls up, we used to deliver the book. So it was working very, very well in Bangalore. We had a great tie-up with a lot of colleges and universities for their library as well. While I transited to PayU, it was mostly a B2B brand. Now since we are a B2B2C as well, we always have to keep consumers in our mind, but it was essentially a B2B brand. And things were pretty different. Every time while I went ahead for any meeting and pitching to any particular client, while I was at Paytm, the matrix always was around consumers. But while at PayU, it was mostly about that particular merchant or the merchant side itself. So a lot of times when you pitch to a merchant, you have to provide a lot of data. While I was taking care of the deals vertical at Paytm, the merchants were very much interested in the user base we have. How could we increase their number of transactions with our users? On the other side, here while I spoke to the merchants, it was more of how can you create a value addition for us, which means for merchants. So the way the merchants even looked at the value proposition offered by these two entities were different. I totally agree with you. Big data is a buzzword. So there is something which lies out there. The question is, how do you go ahead, get it on your platform, utilize it to make sure whatever product or service you are going to deliver, the entire experience of that enhances using this big data. So analytics plays very, very important role. Either it's a B2B company or a B2C company. All the metrics is like, number of installs, number of downloads, which category to tap, where are my buyers coming from, which location. So now the question is, how do they use it in a optimized way to make sure they enhance the overall experience? Let me give you an example. Probably for all these companies are into transportation and taxi. For them, GPS is very important. The GPS is not only important for the consumer tapping for a taxi, it is also equivalently important for the driver. Both of these users, the driver as well as the end customer, has to have a very defined and optimized GPS tracking device, and because that's how they get to the location, that's how they reveal their location. So analytics, yes, it plays very important role. The question goes back to how does one use it? For a company like us, what matters is the regulation. So the regulatory body, the big daddy in India is RBI. In other countries, it's a different regulatory body. So if a company goes global, the regulation has to be kept in mind. The geographical acceptance has to be kept in mind. the likes and dislikes by people have to be kept in mind. And it's a mixture of a lot of things. So something like emotions has to be kept in mind while you expand internationally. Something which is liked in India might not get liked in Europe or any other region. So you'll have to probably make a recipe in such a way that your local geography likes it in a much better way. So let me give you an example. Uber internationally has never accepted cash, but in India they are planning to accept cash now. And this change is being done only to make sure they are here for a long time, right? So you do a lot of changes once you expand in an international market. For them, it's an international market, and they have been trying to adopt a lot of changes which is in India, which is demanded by the end users in India. What I would like to tell these budding entrepreneurs is just go out in the market, get your hands dirty. A lot of times people only talk about strategies. There's actually nothing called strategy. There's only one thing, which is execution. You probably go ahead, figure out where is the pain point, try to solve it. While you are trying to solve it, when your hands are dirty, then probably you'll figure out the best way to solve it, and hence you grow big.